York and Connecticut. The story from George Herman at CBS News Primary Night Headquarters.
Senator Kennedy has taken 2 states away from President Carter tonight. In Connecticut, with the vote virtually all counted, Kennedy has won 47% of the vote to the president's 41%. In New York, where polls had shown the president ahead, Kennedy has won about 59% of the vote to the president's 41%. A stinging defeat for the president in a big delegate-rich state. On the Republican side, George Bush has edged out Ronald Reagan in Connecticut, Bush winning 39% of the vote in his old home state to Reagan's 34%. In New York, there is no Republican preferential vote. In the 2 states, Kennedy has gained 191 badly needed new delegates, giving him a total of 401. President Carter gained 145 new delegates, giving him a total of 847. But more importantly, the sagging Kennedy campaign now has a new lease on life. George Herman, CBS News Primary Night Headquarters in New York.
More on the primaries and other news in a moment.
Did you know that you have options for making contributions to IRA and Keogh plans this year? You would if you'd been reading the Wall Street Journal regularly. If it's important to you to keep in touch with everything happening in every phase of business, have a pencil ready for an important offer. The Wall Street Journal recently reported on why small investors are returning to the stock market. Other journal articles gave the in-depth story on the windfall profits oil tax, the impact of soaring interest rates on investors who buy stock on margin, and how prices are falling for residual fuel oil. There were stories on the upsurge of executives taking work-related courses and the discouraging news about gas lines. The Wall Street Journal. It's all the business news you need when you need it. Right now, you can get 20 weeks of the Journal, that's 100 copies, for just $29. A real money-saving offer. So in the continental U.S., call this toll-free number now, 800-228-3300. That's 800-228-3300, except in Nebraska. You'll be billed later.
So far, there's been no statement from the Kennedy camp regarding the senators' wins in Connecticut and New York, but the White House has reacted to President Carter's loss. Lee Thornton has that report.
The Carter White House was surprised and disappointed by the loss of New York and Connecticut. Spokesman Jody Powell talked about what went wrong.
Certainly the president's decision on the balanced budget and also the United Nations vote on the Middle East peace process were indeed politically costly.
Later, Powell said the president got the worst of both worlds. In Powell's words, those against us turned out and those with us stayed home. But despite the clear disappointment over tonight's losses, officials here continued to point out that to pull off the nomination, Senator Kennedy would have to win more than 60% of all the delegates in the remaining contests. And they don't believe that's at all likely. Lee Thornton, CBS News, the White House.
Inmates seized the Violent Offenders Unit of the Essex County Jail in Newark, New Jersey today. A guard was shot and seriously wounded, and about 10 hostages, including several guards, were taken. Now this.
Hi, this is Dick.
And Bert.
We do funny radio commercials.
But now we're going on television with one of America's beloved comedy geniuses. Do you know who it is?
Listen carefully. Here's your first clue. My show is on every Saturday night at 8, 7 o'clock Central Time on CBS TV.
Clue number 2.
I've been on TV before on The Carol Burnett Show, but now I have my own comedy variety hour with my own crazy cast of characters, including Dick and Bert.
So join us on the Don Conway Show.
Excuse me, that's the Tim Conway Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did I give him more clues?
Oh, no.
It was fine.
When an orange says Sunkissed on the outside, you know it's juicy and sweet on the inside.
Sunkissed sweet, it'll knock you off of your feet. It's so fresh and juicy, plump and heavenly. Sunkissed sweet.
Sink your teeth into a big, bursting, sweet, succulent, scintillating, juicy, vibrant, luscious, lip-smacking, mouth-watering, tongue-tickling, sun-kissed orange.
Ain't Sunkissed sweet.
President Carter said today the Soviet Union has no intention of withdrawing its forces from Afghanistan in the near future. Mr. Carter said he has no intention of easing the sanctions the United States imposed against the Russians because of the invasion. President Carter was among world leaders who condemned last night's assassination of Archbishop Oscar Romero, who was gunned down while saying Mass in San Salvador. There was an upsurge of the political violence in El Salvador today. At least 30 bombs exploded throughout the country. Carter administered administration officials said today they have evidence Cuba is helping to supply arms and insurgents to the leftists trying to overthrow the government of El Salvador. The Senate has approved a resolution calling for a balanced federal budget in fiscal 1981, but the lawmakers sidestepped a Republican demand for deeper cuts in the Carter administration's spending program. General Public Utilities Corporation, which owns the crippled 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania, has filed a $500 million damage suit against the designers of the plant. GPU charged Babcock and Wilcox concealed flaws in the equipment that led to the accident a year ago. For late development now on today's primary in New York, we switch to Senator Kennedy's hotel in New York and correspondent Jed Duval.
Appreciation to all of the voters.
Senator Kennedy has entered a press conference here in New York City and started out by saying, "I love New York." And here's Senator Kennedy.
New York and Connecticut, when they went to the polls today, were voting for their families, voting for their children, voting for their jobs, voting for their parents. I think the voters of New York and Connecticut were sending a very clear and powerful message, not only to Washington, but across this country, that they can no longer afford an inflation rate of 18% and interest rates that match. That this is questioning their whole quality of their lives and the quality of life for their children and their future. I think a sound economy is basic to a foreign policy that makes sense for our nation. If we're not effective in dealing with our own problems here at home, we cannot gain the confidence and the respect of the nations throughout the world. So it is essential, I believe, that in 1980, that we have alternative programs proposed in economic issues as well as in foreign policy considerations. I've tried to do that in offering a program to freeze prices, interest rates, profits, wages right across the board. I believe that's the only fair and equitable way to deal with escalating inflation. And so tonight, I'm grateful for the help and the support that we have received. We are sobered by the magnitude of the problems that we in this country continue to face as we carry not only our campaign on to the future, but as we as a nation face these challenges. But we will travel across this country renewed with the expressions of confidence and support. And we've been successful in New York today, and we'll look forward to returning to New York and being successful at the time of the Democratic Convention as well. Thank you very much.
All right, you've heard Senator Kennedy, and you hear a lot of cheering from some of his supporters mixed in the room with a whole lot of reporters. I see Lauren Bacall here standing. Now, he's going to take some questions, and here we are.
Here in New York and Connecticut. I found that the people in New York and Connecticut listened very carefully to the proposals both of the administration and the alternative programs which I offered. I interpret the vote today as really an important signal that the state of New York, which is the state of Al Smith and Franklin Roosevelt and Robert Kennedy, is the Democratic Party of hope. And I believe that this administration has really failed the American people in offering policies of hope and of inspiration and of challenge. And I believe that the Democratic Party means hope for millions of people, and it is an instrument for change. And I found in our campaign throughout this state that people were responding to alternative policy positions on the economic issues and also in foreign policy. And I believe that this is going to bode us well for the future primaries ahead. Yes. No, I haven't heard from them. They gave me very good advice up in Brockport earlier this August when they said I could carry New York, and by God, they were right. What is it? No, we haven't got any predictions beyond the nomination. Yes.
Nomination will be decided on and not before June 3rd.
Well, I think the nomination will be decided at the convention. Clearly, that's when it'll be decided. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Senator Kennedy is continuing to answer a few questions.
This aspect of the campaign was very encouraging.
We have heard him say that,
upstate,
as he has said many times, that what is going to do it for him are these two main issues of his, economic issues and foreign policy. And what he's saying is now that now you see what I've been talking about. People will respond to it. He's been telling us for weeks, look, I've got to stay with this because people will respond. And now he, he's being very cool about it. But he might be saying, look, I told you. At least here in New York, he's gotten some response to this, or he's gotten some reaction against the administration because he's been saying that they have failed in these areas of offering policies of hope, as he just said, and they failed in foreign policy and they mismanaged things. And it's a traditional message of the one who is out, saying of the one who is in, look, these people are mismanaging things and I can do a better job. And we often hear that from a challenger, and that's what we're hearing from Senator Kennedy.
Jed Duval, does it seem, however, that for a man who has had his charisma kicked around by the president now for some 7 straight primaries and finally has won one of the biggest states of them all, save California, that he's a fairly subdued man? Why isn't he more excited, you suppose?
You mean Senator Kennedy?
I mean he, yes.
Well, that's something that we've noticed. Reed, in a series of primary and caucus losses that add up to 18, and now a total of, I think, 3 big victories, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York. On the victory nights, Senator Kennedy is rather serious. And on the losing nights, he comes out kidding around and being very relaxed and doing a lot of laughing. And the difference is in that, winning and being given a responsibility, at least to a degree, and knowing that he's being paid attention to all across the country, why he's out and he's serious. And when he's losing, he's a lot lighter about it.
I think
Thank you very much, Jed Duval at Halloran House in New York City, where Senator Kennedy has acknowledged the fact that he has beaten President Carter both in New York State's primary and in Connecticut's. In Connecticut, rather handily, some 59 to 41%. In Connecticut, some 47 to 41. Decisive victories both. This has been a CBS News special report for Jed Duval with the Senator. This is Reed Collins, CBS News, New York.
And this is WWJ in Detroit News Radio 95. It's 13 minutes past 11 o'clock, and now we join the CBS Radio Mystery Theater, already in progress.
When this young country was struggling to its feet, the idea of a young man devoting himself exclusively to the writing of fiction was regarded as most peculiar and certainly unwise. But Washington Irving set his course early in life and never swerved from it. By the time he reached his 30s, he was not only acclaimed by his own countrymen and immensely popular, he was also hugely loved. Listen now to his story of the Spectre Bridegroom.
I am Herta von Landshort, and I lived with my father, the Baron, and my Aunt Matilda in his castle on the very tip-top of the Odenwald, a most wild and romantic spot. I was just 18 years old at the time this all happened, and quite ready, yes, anxious, to be married to the gentleman my father, the Baron, had selected for me.
Herta, today is the day.
I know, Father. I have lived for nothing else.
Quite properly, Herta. Your secluded life with your father and myself is about to end, and you will take your place in the world as the Countess von Altenburg.
I received a message from Würzburg
Franz von Altenburg was accidentally detained there, but he expects to arrive within the next few hours.
Plenty of time to review your toilette once more.
And time for me to check upon each room of the castle, remind the servants of their duties, count the wine bottles again. Today, our hospitality must extend itself to the utmost.
And I shall counsel you, Herta, one last time on how to deport yourself, what to say, what to do, how to receive your expected lover.
Listen well to your Aunt Matilda. Even though she never chose to become a bride herself, she knows the proper conduct.
I had my chances, you know. In my day, I was known as quite a flirt. A veritable coquette.
So I've been told, Aunt Matilda.
Which is why I have guarded you so strictly. You may have resented my lectures on decorum.
Oh, no.
But they were intended to instill in you the ability to attract young men, at the same time to keep them at a distance. Oh, providing, of course, they are properly authorized.
No one can criticize your system of upbringing, Matilda. But allow me some self-satisfaction that I have fathered a daughter with extraordinary beauty. That, too, might well appeal to Franz von Altenburg.
Father, may I ask you something perhaps trivial in your eyes?
Ask whatever you like, my precious girl.
Father, do you think he's handsome? My bridegroom? The day dragged by. My intended bridegroom did not appear. Hour rolled after hour. The sun, which had poured his downward rays upon the rich forest, now just gleamed along the summit of the mountains. We waited. We waited. The last ray of sunshine departed. The bats began to flit by in the twilight. The road leading to the castle grew dimmer and dimmer to the view. Nothing appeared stirring in it. Night closed in.
An hour ago, I thought I saw the Count and his attendants. I thought I heard the sound of horns floating from the valley. Some horsemen advanced along the road, but suddenly they turned off in a different direction entirely. Since then, there's been nothing. No sound of horns, no sound of horses' hooves, no sound of voices. Nothing.
He's not coming.
Brother, what am I to tell the servants? What of the banquet they have spent 3 days preparing?
Matilda, give orders for the feast to commence.
Without the guest of honor?
Without him.
He's not coming.
Tell them all to seat themselves at the table. Tell the servants to pour the wine, bring in the delicacies.
How are we to go through with this farce, this travesty?
The best way we can. Go, Matilda. Seat the guests. Summon the servants. Let the banquet begin. Herta and I will join you in a moment or two.
It's intolerable. Unendurable.
He doesn't want me.
No, my child.
He has reconsidered, and he doesn't want me.
There may be an acceptable explanation.
You had a message from Würzburg, and Würzburg is not so far from here. He could have covered the distance long before now.
Yes, that's true enough.
There can be but one reason why he has not arrived. He has reconsidered, and he does not want me.
Oh, my darling child.
Someone has told him that I am not worthy, that my intelligence is insufficient, that my appearance is unattractive.
Oh, no one could say such things.
They have told him that I am undesirable, and he has changed his mind. He is not coming. He does not want me.
No.
Oh, yes, Father, we must face the truth.
Brother, the guests are seated. Herta?
Come, my child. We must brazen it out one way or another.
Come, Herta.
What's that?
A horn. A horn. I heard a horn.
Do you think? Could it be?
He's here. Franz von Altenburg is here.
Admit him, brother. Go to the door and let him in. Oh, praise the good Lord. Aunt Matilda, do you think? Who else could it be, my darling?
Welcome, my dear Count von Altenburg. I am the Baron von Landshort. Welcome to our home. Come in, come in.
I am sorry. So very sorry.
No need to be sorry, my dear fellow. Not now, not at this joyful moment. No need at all.
To break in upon you like this.
I listen to no apologies, not at this happy time. Come, let me present you to my sister, Matilda.
Count von Altenburg.
And this, dear Franz, I may call you Franz, I trust, under the circumstances. This, Franz, is my daughter. My daughter, Hertha.
Hertha.
I am so happy. We are all so happy that you are here. So very happy.
I, too. I am so very happy that I am here.
Well, why are we standing here like ninnies?
Oh, yes, the table is all set for you, Count van Oldenburg. The guests have taken their places.
Everyone will be impatient to greet my daughter's intended husband. Count Franz, will you give Hertha your arm?
With pleasure. Yes, certainly. Would you permit me, Hertha?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. I remember little of the banquet. I sat on my father's left, the Count across the table from me on my father's right. We addressed few words directly to each other, but, oh, the looks that passed between us. They were lovers' looks. I could not doubt, inexperienced as I most certainly was, that he was as enamored of me as I of him. And I had been a fool to worry that he might be less than handsome. And yet, as the feast progressed, he seemed to grow dejected, ill at ease, and finally downright melancholy. A tiny tremor ran through my frame as, with a somber look, he rose from his seat.
Baron, ladies and gentlemen, all.
What is it, my dear Count?
Yeah. It is with the utmost regret, with grief, with sorrow that I say farewell to you.
What's that you say?
Farewell.
Leave the castle at midnight? Why, everything was prepared for your reception. A chamber is ready for you if you wish to retire.
I'm sorry, Baron, it cannot be. I must lay my head in a different chamber this night.
You cannot mean what you say. Franz, I beg of you.
Don't leave us, not now. We have waited so long.
Why are you doing this? You must have a reason. There must be a reason for your going. I could have sworn that you and I...
There is a reason for my leaving you.
Then in heaven's name, tell us.
I have a solemn and indispensable engagement.
Well, can you not send someone in your place?
It admits of no substitute. I must attend in person. I must return to Würzburg Cathedral.
Oh, yes, but not until tomorrow. Tomorrow you will take your bride to the cathedral in Würzburg.
My engagement is with no bride.
What is he saying?
Then what?
What does he do?
Then who?
The worms. The worms expect me. I am a dead man. My body lies at Würzburg. At midnight, I am to be buried.
What are you saying?
The grave is waiting for me. I must keep my appointment. Farewell. Farewell all. Farewell. Farewell.
He's gone.
What did he mean?
What could he possibly... He has left me.
What was he talking about?
He did not want me after all.
What the devil was the man saying?
He was no man.
Well, No man? No man, Matilda?
Oh, yes, he was a man. But he did not want me.
He is not a man, Matilda. What was he?
A spectre.
A spectre? What are you saying, Moore?
No, he was no spectre. He was to be my bridegroom.
He was a spectre. The spectre of a bridegroom.
By the time Washington Irving was 36 years old, he had written a collection of essays, sketches, and tales. They were published in 1819 under the title of The Sketchbook and made Irving something of a celebrity. There were only 3 stories in the sketchbook. One of them was The Spectre Bridegroom. The other 2 are among the most famous tales ever written. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. I'll be back shortly with Act 2.
Minutes seem like hours when you sometimes have trouble getting to sleep. Wouldn't you like to get to sleep fast? Announcing new Unisom. A different generation sleep aid. The only one with oxylamine. To our knowledge, Unisom is the only non-prescription sleep aid proven effective in clinical tests. When you sleep better, you feel better. For occasional sleeplessness, take new Unisom. Use only as directed.
I'm Susan Anton.
It's a good feeling to sleep the night away on a perfect sleeper vibe.
Pillow Soft is the ultimate in sleep. Unique extra thick cushioning for heavenly comfort on top. Ultra firm support inside. Perfect sleeper Pillow Soft. Firmness that feels good.
Be a perfect sleeper. Buy a perfect sleeper. Perfect sleeper. Buy
There's something special in the air at Fairlane Town Center. Spring fever. It's energy, vitality, lively new looks and bright new fabrics, bursting with excitement at fashion shops all over the center. Alive with ideas for a dazzling spring wardrobe that'll make you come alive. Spring fever. Catch it at Fairlane Town Center.
Now you can catch the new spring fashions at Lord & Taylor, Hudson's, JCPenney, Sears, and the new Saks Fifth Avenue store just opened at Fairlane Town Center.
I'm Tom McIntyre, asking you to help celebrate the American Lung Association's 75th anniversary by attending Fashion Scope 80. It's a fashion show, dinner, silent auction, and raffle all rolled into one. It'll be held Tuesday, March 25th at the Rochester Elks Club. Call 731-5610 for ticket information. That's 731-5610.
WWJ, people serving people.
You are listening to a tale of horror and romance, an irresistible combination, especially when told in the well-known Gothic style. So-called Gothic stories were enormously popular in Washington Irving's day, and they have continued to be in demand by the reading public and now the listening public. It is good to remember that the Gothic romance was assisted into the world by an American, Mr. Washington Irving.
I have Matilda von Landshort. When my sister-in-law died, giving birth to Herta, my brother the Baron asked me to undertake the rearing of his motherless daughter. She grew into a young lady of perfect docility and correctness. Was this to be my reward for years of careful, constant supervision? That she and I and her father should be deceived, deluded, yes, cheated. Cheated by a visit from a phantom. The answer, the tragic reply to that question, arrived the day after the banquet, and it was myself who had to relay it to my brother, the Baron.
Yes? Who is it?
It is I, brother.
Matilda? Enter.
Oh, brother dear.
Yes. What is it, Matilda?
Well, we had a message.
Oh, yes. What message? Speak up.
I have asked Herta to join us here. She'll be along presently. After all, the message concerns her most of all.
Anything which concerns my daughter intimately concerns me.
This concerns her intimately. There's no doubt of that.
Well, then tell me what it is. I give you warning, Matilda, not to trifle with me today after the shocking events of yesterday evening, the grotesque ending to what was to have been such a joyful banquet. My nerves are on edge, and I cannot tolerate shilly-shallying. So tell me whatever it is you're stammering about.
The message. The message is from Würzburg.
Würzburg. But it was to Würzburg that the Count said he must go when he left us so precipitously.
Yes, to the cathedral.
To keep an engagement, he said.
With the worms, that is what he said. To be buried.
At midnight.
Brother, the message which has just been delivered says that France, Count von Altenburg, was murdered.
Murdered? You said murdered?
Murdered. Yesterday. His body found and interred in Würzburg Cathedral at midnight.
No. Oh, no. I can't believe...
It's true, brother.
Aunt Matilda? Father? You wished to speak with me?
Oh, my poor child. My dearest child. How can I tell you?
Let me do it. Herta, we just had word that the Count von Altenburg was murdered yesterday and his body interred in the cathedral at Würzburg.
But he was here last night.
That was a phantom. Don't you know that by now? An apparition? Your Count died, and what arrived here was a spectre. A spectre bridegroom. You can well imagine the dismay that settled upon the castle. My brother shut himself up in his chamber. The servants huddled in groups, shaking their heads and shrugging their shoulders. But the situation of the widowed bride was the most pitiable. To have lost a husband before she even embraced him. And such a husband. Of course, I insisted on sleeping alongside her in her chamber. Herta? Herta, my dear?
Yes, Aunt Matilda?
Oh, have you slept at all, my precious?
No.
Oh, my poor darling, what am I to do with you?
There's nothing to be done.
But you must have your rest. You'll lose your beauty, your young freshness if you do not sleep.
I have no further use for beauty, or freshness, or youth. I'm widowed, and I've never been a bride.
Try, my dear one. Try to sleep.
No. I simply lie here and gaze at the beams in the rising moon, trembling on the leaves of the aspen trees, and think of him.
Your spectre bridegroom.
Whom I love with all my heart, and shall love forever.
Oh, my dear, don't say it. Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing. Only going to the window to look down on the garden.
Oh, well, wait, I'll join you.
There's no need.
And then, nevertheless...
Ah! Be quiet, Aunt.
He's there. He's come back. Do you see him, Herta? Herta, do you see him?
Of course I see him.
It's your spectre bridegroom.
Yes. The man I love.
Herta, have you seen this spectre before from this window?
No. But I have expected him. And now he is here.
No, come away from the window.
And he will come back again and again and again. He will be my consolation.
You cannot console yourself with a spectre.
What else do I have?
We will sleep in a different bedchamber.
Oh, no, Aunt Matilda.
I refuse to sleep here again. We'll move to another wing of the castle, you and I.
You may sleep wherever you like, Aunt. I shall sleep here.
Young lady, are you defying me?
I suppose I am.
Herta, I fear for you. I tremble for your safety.
Do not tremble and have no fear. As I loved my lover, so now do I love his spectre. Leave me, please.
Oh, well, if I must.
You must. And one more thing.
What is that, my heart?
Swear that you will never repeat to anyone what has transpired here this night.
Oh, Herta.
Swear by the saints you will keep my secret.
By the holy saints, I swear. What else could I do? I am deathly afraid of ghosts, spirits, shadows, anything from beyond the grave. That my sweet niece should be able to endure this silent communion with a spectre was beyond me. Yet I must admit in all candor, during the days that followed, her health improved. Her disposition brightened. Her expression held a look of serenity. Yes, even of happiness that I had never seen before. Until I made the horrible, the hideous discovery.
Matilda, you're late for breakfast.
Yes, I know. My apologies.
No, there's no need to apologize. I'm simply accustomed to finding you at the table when I come down.
Brother,
You needed to sleep, I understand.
No,
Oh, now that I look at you, you're pale. You're even trembling.
Brother, I must tell you something.
Where is Herta? Did you waken her?
I went to her room.
Well, then she'll be down momentarily. Come, Matilda, eat a little something. It'll perk you up.
I must tell you about Herta.
Have you observed how well she's been looking lately?
Yes.
And how her spirits have improved?
I must tell you about Herta. Please let me.
Of course.
Well, it's very difficult.
Well, now, how difficult can it be? You and I have no secrets from each other. Now, what is it?
I do have a secret, something I've kept from you. I took a sacred oath.
What is it? Well, speak up in heaven's name.
Well, I shall have to go back to the day we received the message from Würzburg.
That the Count had been murdered.
His body interred in the cathedral.
Yes.
Do you remember that Herta was stricken to the heart?
Well, of course she was. To lose a bridegroom.
The spectre of a bridegroom.
She was so distraught, I feared for her very life.
And so did I. That is why I moved into her bedchamber and slept beside her. Not that she slept very much. Then one night, I spoke to her. I was sure she was wide awake. I told her that if she did not sleep, she would lose her beauty, waste her youth. She said neither beauty nor youth had any value to her, since her heart lay with him, with the man she had promised to marry, and had never even kissed.
The Count.
The shadow of the Count. Then, without warning, she got out of bed, went to the window. She said it was only to gaze down on the garden. I said I would join her at the window, and I did. Oh, brother, I looked out the window into the garden, and there he stood, gazing up to the second story from where we looked down on him.
Are you saying...
I screamed so loud I should have wakened the entire household. For what I saw in the garden was the spectre bridegroom.
No.
Yes, it is true. I swear it. I must say to you that there was still the semblance of manly beauty about him. He looked something the same as he had when he came here for the banquet. I could understand a little, at least, why she found him endearing.
Endearing? You said endearing? How can a shadow be endearing?
I said as much to her, and she replied, I shall never forget her words. She said, where the substance is not to be had, the shadow must suffice.
Good Lord.
Moreover, she said she expected him to return night after night, again and again, and she would observe him from her window. She said he would be your consolation.
And did he? Did he come again?
I think he must have. I, of course, could not continue sleeping in that chamber. I moved to another room, and she stayed where she was. I believe that each night she has silently communed from her window with her spectral bridegroom. Well, you must admit it's done her no harm. On the contrary, she has blossomed, she has bloomed.
Yes, I admit the truth of that. Still, I should have been told. You should have told me, Matilda.
She swore me to secrecy. She extracted my vow that I would never breathe a word of her unholy trysts. This morning, a half hour past, I went as I have always done to awaken her for breakfast, and she's not there.
What? Not there? Where is she?
I have searched the castle, every nook and cranny, have searched the grounds of the estate. She is nowhere to be found.
It's impossible. Utterly impossible. Summon the staff. We shall all look for her.
We will not find her.
Why not, in the name of heaven?
Because the Spectre has carried her away. My poor brother, the Baron, he ran frantically about the castle. He questioned every servant, and two of them said that they had heard the night before the clattering of a horse's hoofs down the mountain near the hour of midnight. They had no doubt that it had been the Spectre on his black charger bearing her away to the tomb. As for myself, I had known it all along.
In 1789, George Washington was inaugurated president in New York City. So Irving would have been 5 years old when, it is said, on seeing our first president enter a shop, a young Scottish maidservant followed him with young Irving in tow and said, "Please, Your Honor, here's a bairn who is named after you." Whereupon the great man touched the small boy's forehead and gave him his blessing. I'll be back shortly with Act 3.
For the National Association of Realtors, this is Greg Morris with On the Home Front. The actual mechanics of buying a home can seem a little confusing, but if you keep in mind 3 simple points, all should go well. First, take advantage of the expertise of a realtor. Secondly, when you work out the initial buying contract with the seller, get everything in writing. Get the professional advice you need to understand all points of the agreements, exact price, what comes with the house and what doesn't. And thirdly, before you close, make sure that you are happy and that you completely understand your obligations and the seller's. Now's the time. Tomorrow will be too late. For more tips, talk to a realtor. Realtors support equal opportunity in housing and want to make buying a home as easy as possible for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, working for America's property owners.
When you move, your greatest concern may well be the protection of a family heirloom. Your grandfather's boyhood chair, perhaps, now fragile with age and priceless because of the generations of love it represents. Recently, North American Van Lines moved just such a chair. It belonged to a boy the world has come to know as King Tut, Pharaoh of Egypt 3,300 years ago. You may have seen that chair in the King Tut exhibit at one of America's great museums. North American Van Lines moved those priceless treasures all across America. Perhaps your heirlooms may not survive the millennia, but you can trust the expertise of North American to make sure they survive your move. North American Van Lines. We move the treasures of your world.
In the Detroit metropolitan area, call Abrams Moving and Storage. Look for our ad in the yellow pages under Moving.
Why is the linking of terror with romance so fascinating? Not just today, but through the ages. Folklore is filled with just this conjoining. The Greeks, in their fables, bound passionate love together with mysterious and drastic outcomes. So did the Romans. To this day, we are all inexorably drawn to the story that tells of wild, uncontrollable love combined with hideous consequences. Why should this be so? Frankly, I haven't the faintest idea.
I am Hendrik von Starkenfaust. I was on my way home from the army when my horse lost a shoe. The village of Würzburg was not far away, so I left him there and turned him over to the local blacksmith to be reshod. I myself was somewhat exhausted and looked about for a tavern where I might refresh myself until my horse was ready to finish the journey. I followed the sound of revelry and soon found myself inside a cheery room with a fire roaring, men sitting at polished tables, and a pretty waitress. She had just brought me a stein of beer when I felt a hand on my shoulder and heard a familiar voice.
Hendrik, it's you, isn't it? Hendrik von Starkenfaust?
That's my name, yes.
Am I to gather that you do not recognize me?
Oh, merciful heavens! You are Franz von Altenburg, am I right? Yeah, of course. I'm Franz. How are you?
Splendid. And you, Hendrik, how are you? You're looking well? Little weary? Very well?
Yes, I am well, and if I look weary, it's only because I'm just home from the wars. My horse threw a shoe, and I'm waiting for the local blacksmith to fix him up, then I'll be off again. My family is expecting me. I'm anxious to get home.
Hey, mind if I sit down?
Oh, dear fellow, of course I don't mind. I'm delighted. Sit down. Tell me all that's happened since last we met.
I've got myself betrothed.
No.
Yes, I have. In a day or two, I shall take to myself a bride. Now, there's something you've not been able to accomplish away at the wars.
Hey, no, you're right about that. Though if I tried very hard, but I am not particularly interested in taking a bride at the moment. I'll wait a bit, I think, till some particular girl, some superlative creature crosses my path.
But by then it'll be too late, my dear Henry.
What makes you say that?
Because by then, the superlative creature will be married to me.
Oh, you don't say.
From all that I've heard, from every direction, she's one of the fairest damsels in these parts.
What you've heard? You've never seen her?
No, but I shall tonight. Her father's readying the most elaborate banquet imaginable to celebrate the betrothal.
And her father is?
The Baron von Landshort. A worthy member of a fine family.
Yes, I've heard of the Baron. He lives not far from my family's domain. Unhappily, there has been some bad blood between my family and the Baron, one of those foolish feuds going back so far that no one remembers how it started. So I've never set foot in his castle, nor met him or any member of the family.
Look here, Hendrik, if you're going home...
My parents are expecting me.
My retinue is sojourning here in Würzburg for a few hours. I promised them the rest and relaxation. But as soon as your horse is fit for travel, let us, the two of us, start off together. Since we're bound in the same general direction.
A splendid idea. We've much to talk about, and I need to hear more about your future wife.
She has been guarded like a delicate flower, they tell me. And they say she looks like one, too.
Yes, Franz, this forest is said to be infested by robbers.
Her Aunt Matilda has watched her like a hawk.
Yes, I know for a fact there are hordes of disbanded soldiers wandering about. They can be dangerous.
Bertha von Landshort will be the crowning glory of my life.
Franz, look there, behind the tree. Draw your sword, my friend, draw your sword. Be quick, be quick.
Henry! Henry! Help me! Help! I'm stricken, Henry. Help me.
Your retainers are approaching, Franz.
Badly stricken.
The robbers heard them and they have fled.
Oh, it's too late.
No. Don't try to lift me. It hurts too much.
What can I do? Tell me.
Go to the castle of the Baron of Landshort and tell them. Explain. Say why I cannot keep my appointment with my bride. You will do this, Hendrik.
Hans.
Else I shall not sleep quiet in my grave.
I promise. You have my word. Here, take my hand. You have my pledge.
My beautiful bride. My fair one.
Hans.
She waits for me. I'll bring my horse. I shall mount, yes. I shall mount and ride.
Rest.
Here he is. Give me a leg up, Sean. Up into the saddle. Reins in my hands. The spurs pressed into my horse's sides. Now, forward. Slow trot. Now, fast trot. Into a canter. Now gallop. Faster.
He died in his delirium. In Würzburg, I arranged with the Holy Fraternity of the convent for the funeral solemnities and my friend's burial in the cathedral near some of his illustrious relatives. His retinue took charge of his remains, and I set off on my sorrowful journey. I shall confess to you, whisperings of curiosity stirred in my bosom to see the far-famed beauty of whom he had said so much, though my heart was heavy and my head perplexed at the thought of presenting myself an unbidden guest among traditionally hostile people, of dampening their festivities with tidings fatal to their hopes. You can imagine my surprise when the door was opened.
Welcome, my dear Count von Altenburg. I am the Baron von Landshort. Welcome to our home.
I am sorry. I am so very sorry.
No, there's no need to be sorry. Not at this joyful moment.
To break in upon you like this.
Let me present you to my sister, Matilda.
Count von Altenburg.
And this is my daughter, Herta.
Herta.
I am so happy. We are all so happy that at last you are here. So very happy.
I, too. I am so very happy that I am here.
Well, why are we all standing here like ninnies?
The table is all set. The guests have taken their places. We were simply waiting for you.
We were certain you would arrive.
And now you see, here you are.
So without further delay, shall we go into the banquet hall? Everyone is impatient to greet my daughter's intended husband. Count, will you give Herta your arm?
I? Oh, with pleasure. Yes, certainly. Would you permit me, Herta?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I scarce remember the banquet. I suppose I conducted some sort of conversation with my dinner partners, but my eyes kept straying to the beautiful girl across the table from me, and her eyes strayed too. Believe me, every glance of mine was returned. I dared hope with the same feeling of tenderness behind them that inspired mine. The situation was unbearable. I was an impostor, a deceiver. I had usurped the life of my friend. As suddenly I rose from the table. Baron, ladies, gentlemen, it is with great regret, great grief, that I say farewell.
Leave us at midnight? Why, everything was prepared for your reception. A chamber is ready for your reception. A chamber is ready for you if you wish to retire.
It cannot be. I must lay my head in a different chamber this night.
Don't leave. We've waited so long. Why are you doing this? There must be a reason for your desertion. I could have sworn that you and I...
Yes, there is a reason. I have a solemn and indispensable engagement.
Well, can you not send someone in your place?
It admits of no substitutes. I must attend in person. I must return to Würzburg Cathedral.
Not until tomorrow. Then you will take your bride there.
My engagement is with no bride.
Well, then what? Who then?
The worms. The worms expect me. I am a dead man. My body lies at Würzburg. At midnight, I am to be buried.
What are you saying?
The grave is waiting for me. Farewell. Farewell. It was a stammering exit. I was trying to tell them that I was not Franz von Altenburg, that I was not the husband they planned for their daughter, but simply his friend who had held him while he died. That my family had feuded with theirs for heaven knows how many years. I was torn with regret to have deceived them, but as much by the thought that I would never see Herta again. This was the agony that drove me back to the castle, not to speak to her, merely to stand beneath her window and gaze up at her, and wonder of wonders to see her gaze down at me. Each and every night, until her window opened.
Are you there, my love?
Herta.
Have you come to claim me?
I have no right.
No right to claim one who loves you?
Herta, I am not Franz von Altenburg.
You are not?
No. No, I am Hendrik von Starkenfast. My family's domain is nearby, but our ancestors have not acknowledged one another for years and years.
Have they not?
Franz was killed by robbers on his way to claim you. I was with him when he died.
Were you?
He is buried in the cathedral at Würzburg. I came here that first evening to tell you that.
Did you?
But then when I saw you, I lost my heart to you.
Did you indeed?
I could not bear to blurt out what I have told you. I was so afraid.
Afraid of me?
Afraid that you would despise me. Afraid that I could never make you love me. But after all, these nights, these silent trysts, when you looked down on me in the garden and I looked up at you, I have dared to hope plucks at my heart that you, that you...
Yes, that
you do love me, even as I love you.
I am going to close tight the window now, Henry.
Herta.
In 10 minutes, I will come to you in the garden. And you will carry me off to the cathedral at Würzburg.
We were married in Würzburg. And when all was explained, all was forgiven. And the revels were resumed. Aunt Matilda confided in me that she was so relieved that I was not, had never been, a Spectre. She would have pardoned me anything at all. As for the Baron, well, let him speak for himself.
I am, on the whole, well pleased with my son-in-law. He's gallant, he's generous, and he's very, very rich.
You see how foolish and how dangerous it can be to believe in specters, phantoms, ghosts? Any one of them may turn out to be a real flesh and blood person. And there's this, too. Besides being a real person, he might also turn out to be very, very rich. Think about that. I'll be back shortly.
For all the things you're going to need in the 1980s, MasterCharge is becoming MasterCard. MasterCard. A world of possibilities for you, because MasterCard is becoming a system for universal transactions, for daily needs, for all new and varied banking services, more clout in more than 140 countries. MasterCard Bank Card will replace your current MasterCharge card. Until you receive it, use your current card. We circle the world. MasterCard.
When an orange says sun-kissed on the outside, you know it's juicy and sweet on the inside.
Sun-kissed sweet, it'll knock you off of your feet. It's so fresh and juicy, plump and heavenly. Sun-kissed sweet.
Sink your teeth into a big, bursting, sweet, succulent, scintillating, juicy, vibrant, luscious, lip-smacking, mouth-watering, tongue-tickling, sun-kissed orange.
Hey, sun-kissed sweet.
We're approaching the 12 o'clock hour here at News Radio 95, and these are the top headline stories. U.S. automakers report mid-March sales were the 5th best ever. We'll have a report in the next 30 minutes.
Farmington police are betting that the killers of a Farmington supermarket employee over a year ago have told somebody about that night, and they would like to talk to that somebody. Tom McIntyre details coming up. America's most famous short order cook was in Detroit.
It's a slob to play on floor.
I'm Steve Still. A report upcoming.
And Senator Edward Kennedy has scored 2 major upsets over President Carter in New York and Connecticut. CBS News will have details next. Good evening. For News Radio 95, I'm Dave Greer. Weather Command says for the early morning hours in Detroit, partly cloudy and cool, with lows ranging from 22 to 27, warmest in the city.